Are we live here?
Yes, it's going live. Yes.
Excellent. Let's do that. Welcome everybody. Let me do the hello thing here. Hang on.
We're live.
Excellent. Hello. Fantastic. Hi everybody. How are you doing? Welcome. Welcome to, I think, what is it, Anil? Show number 24?
Yes, that's correct, Ravi.
Excellent. That's fantastic. Anshuman is not going to be able to join us. Today we have ED and President, Mr. Anil Ramaneni, with the force behind him. So may the force be with you. We will start up right away. It's going to be Innovation Tuesday. So Anil, why don't you start us off? Give us a summary of what's coming up. And
Yeah, we have a hi, good afternoon. Thanks for joining, everyone. And today it's a great warm weather. It's really little warm, 90 almost. And tomorrow we have a big webinar coming up. Hosted, moderated by Ravi, and we have a COVID-19 Q&A with physicians, two of them, and Ravi will talk about those physicians. That's what's happening for tomorrow webinar at 2 p.m.
excellent. And talk to us about next week also, right? So we have this coming up next week also, where we are going to be talking. You're going to be hearing a lot more about this. So we are going to be having Neeraj Bhavani talk about medtech and opportunities for entrepreneurship in the age of COVID-19, right? So next Wednesday also we are going to have a very interesting event. So thank you, Anil, for that. Tomorrow from 2 to 3 is our keynote webinar, right? We're going to have two amazing speakers. Dr. Kohli, you guys remember Payal Kohli, right? Payal Kohli, during her talk, she said, hey, her husband is a doctor and he's in the midst of this COVID-19, so providing service for COVID-19, and he comes up very late, and he's very busy with this. So Dr. Kohli, Rohit Kohli, will be here, and Dr. Sai, who also runs a telemedicine-based practice, will be on the webinar. Two people. We are going to have a panel, and we're going to hear about how medicine, about COVID-19, their experiences and their insights on how to deal with it in this age of COVID-19. The view from two doctors. So very good speakers. I have spoken to them ahead of time, and they're looking forward to talking to all our members, and they're really excited. I think we have 46 registered already. So if you have not done so, it's a keynote. So please go ahead and register. It's not this Connect format. It's more of a webinar format, 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock tomorrow. So hopefully you guys are all going to join. Okay. We have a few more minutes, so I'll say hi to the gallery. I'll start with Neeta here. Neeta, you want to say hi, and then Ramesh, and then we have a whole bunch. So you want to say hi, Neeta? Or?
Hello, everyone. Nice to see you.
To see you too.
I love the weather. So nice and warm.
I know. It's pretty cool, right? It's really nice. We are lucky to be here in California. I'm telling you.
Absolutely.
Michigan, and they're still grumbling about it being cold and foggy, cold and cloudy. Nice cup of tea. You have to be. There's your boss mug. The boss mug is mine.
I can't find it.
Pankaj, how are you doing?
Good. How are you? Sorry, I had muted. Doing well. So hopefully we'll get a couple of, get those speakers lined up for you.
Yes. Thank you very much. Pankaj has been helping me identify speakers. So that's an open pitch here. So if you guys want to hear from somebody, send me a proposal on that WhatsApp chat list, and we'll try to work it out and see how we can get them on this panel here. Okay. Next on this list, long time no see, Ramesh Bhai. How are you doing, Ramesh Patel? How are you doing? Ramesh, you want to go off mute?
Okay, I am. Oh shit. Okay, let's see. Here we go.
I saw you and then you disappeared.
Hold on. Trying to get my things working. Okay, I'm doing good. Thank you, gentlemen and ladies.
Tika coming up. I love the beard. Are you working on a beard or a goatee?
I am on a COVID-19, what do you call that, discipline where it's not a goatee and it's not a mustache. I'm just letting it grow.
Oh, there you go. You're rebelling against it. You're like an ice hockey player. They let it grow during their playoffs all the time. Baseball players do that. So cool.
Nice.
Dhawal, you're next on my list, man. How are you doing, Dhawal?
I'm pretty good. How are you, Ravi?
Very good. You're going to help us through this Innovation Tuesday, right? We are going to walk through some ideas and talk through that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I have I've taken I've taken my usual 45 minutes to an hour long presentation, condensed it down to 2 slides and 5 bullets. So hopefully we'll get through it in about 5-10 minutes, and then we'll open it up for Q&A and getting everybody's input, because I think that's really what makes this interesting.
Absolutely.
So I'm excited for today.
Absolutely. Ashok, how are you doing?
Yes, I'm doing fine. Thank you. I thought you already, okay. I'm doing fine. It's warm, 90 degrees in Long Beach. Thank God for air conditioning.
That's nice. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining. And just in time, Mr. Balaji Rao, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well, man.
Balaji, I can't see you. There you go. Nice hat, Balaji.
Cinco de Mayo.
Oh,
For
market.
everyone.
What is it? Market
Margarita from Acapulco.
Mango margarita.
Mango market.
Wow.
What is
There
it?
you go.
Market is up, or you're just celebrating Cinco de Mayo?
Market is up, so Balaji is happy.
Good.
That's right.
Val hat. No, I don't like the hat. You know, a USC hat is much better. It's a nicer hat. The color is good. You
Go
know.
Bears. Go Bears.
Ooh, fight on. Zina, we have Zina for Zina. Thank you very much for joining. I love the idea of you making 5 minutes for us. I truly appreciate it. I think on behalf of all the members, all the people who attend, I really appreciate it. Tell us what's next. Zina leads this awesome, helps us with our posture. So go ahead, Zina, it's all yours.
I think I know everybody on this group today. Cheers with my apple. That's what I got going on in this heat. I have 3 more Zoom calls after this, so I can't quite drink yet. All right, everyone knows me here. I think we know, certified posture alignment specialist. We're gonna do some chest openers today. So Ravi, where do we go?
To the edge of the chair.
Yes. Although next time I do this, I'll do a standing exercise.
Oh,
But,
just
okay. So you're gonna take, this is pretty simple. You're gonna bend your elbows and have your hands by your sides. You can make a fist if you want to, it's up to you. Take your elbows a little bit away from your body. So instead of being tight here, we're just gonna be a little bit away from the body. Bring your shoulders down. And then we're just gonna open the hands out to the sides. And we're gonna work on external rotation in the shoulders. And then we're gonna bring the hands back together again. You could take a TheraBand if you have a band and use the band if you wanted to, but you don't really need to. You open up and squeeze your shoulder blades together behind you and then close. So keep going nice and slow. I'm gonna turn around so you can see what's happening with my back. But as we open, we're gonna again squeeze our shoulder blades behind us and then bring the arms back in. Again, you don't wanna have your elbows super close to your body, a little bit better for your shoulder joint. Now, another thing to keep track of is when you open up, try not to let your rib cage flare. So from the side, if I do this, my rib cage flares, and I'm actually doing more work with my ribs and not as much work with my shoulders and my scapula. So you want to try to keep that rib still as you open and then bring the arms back together again. Let's do like 5 more together. You can think about breathing. So you'll inhale as you close the hands together and exhale as you open up. Inhale, exhale. 3 more. Inhale and exhale. 2 more. And exhale. Last one. And exhale. That was awesome. All of you guys did that on my screen. So I think there's only 9 of us here, so it was great to see everybody's body. Good job, you guys. Nice work.
Thank you.
I'm excited to see Deval speak today, but I have to jump off at like 4:28 because I have a 4:30, so I'm very sorry. But I will watch the recording after.
Awesome. Appreciate it. I like your corrections also. You know, you correct it, and I think that actually 80% of them I'm doing it wrong. So until you correct it, I was doing this, and then
Yeah, and you know, when if you do a one-on-one session with me, it's really powerful because I can actually see a lot through the video. I had a session with a client today, and the exercise she had in her menu we were reviewing was where she was just lying down on the ground and had her feet between a yoga block, and her right side of her pelvis is her side that's always dysfunctional, and you could see even through the video from like across the room that her right ankle wasn't pushing into the yoga block quite as well as the left. And the moment she did that, she felt it in an entirely different place in her body. So yeah, the form corrections are a pretty powerful piece of what I do and what makes it different than just going to the gym and working with a normal personal trainer, you know.
thank you. Thank you very much. I really, really appreciate it. So, transitioning over to the next item on the agenda, and we are perfectly on time. I love this. So, Tuesdays are supposed to be Innovation Tuesdays, right? So, the idea here is have an open mic, talk about ideas that you're going to have, make it in an organized format. So far, we've been having unstructured kind of conversations. You remember we spoke about, I like the change in the background and Anil behind us. So we were talking about this platform, if you may, for the home with connectivity and stuff like that, right? In-home delivery, in-home stuff, right? The goal here is to slowly transition this into a little bit more of an organized ideation conversation. Next week, I have a nice pitch. I have a nice deck on ideation itself. So how to do ideation and how to manage ideation. I'll try to do that next week. But the goal here is to have pitches, talk about your idea, pitch it up, and get everybody's feedback, right? And we will do this on a more regular basis. We will look for additional pitches. So if you guys have ideas, put it in a PowerPoint deck, put it in a nice little deck, and let's get it beaten up by friends here, right? That's the best place to get feedback. So that's the whole idea behind it, right, Dhaval? Go ahead. Dhaval.
Absolutely.
Tell us, add to it a little bit, and what do you think? And Dhaval is my co-presenter on this one. He has been co-leading this with me, and so Dhaval, what do you think? And how? And let's hear your presentation. You have a presentation to kick us off.
Yep, absolutely. So I think you nailed it. Where you know, this economy and our businesses are going to look very different in 2021 versus how they were in 2019. So the idea in this forum is to sort of search out all of those new possibilities and new directions that we can go in and see how we can really add value to what we're doing and maybe even come out of this better than you know, what we went in with. So having said that, personally speaking, before we got into this, some of you know about this already, but you know, I was in the process of putting together a studio where we can go in and create content, create audio, video content. And that's why I have a mic. That's why I have the studio lights and, you know, all of those kinds of things. You know, I wanted to sort of go through why people need to do this and why, you know, we need to start communicating more than selling. So having said that, I know, Ravi, how much you like these, you know, the video clips and audio clips from TV shows. So I wanted to share a quick clip with you if I can. Let's see if I can get into this.
Press the share screen button at the bottom, and then the screen will be all yours, and you can do that.
Can you guys see this?
Yes,
Yeah.
I can. Yes.
Okay, so this is a quick one, 14 seconds. Here we go.
Volume.
There was no volume.
Well, no volume. You have to go back and share the volume. There's a selection in that share before you do that to say share your audio from your computer. Hit escape.
I could hear it, it just wasn't very loud.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hit escape or go to view options.
Oh, okay.
in the main thingamajig.
Let me stop this first. Maybe that'll help.
Or you might just increase the volume on your computer itself. Increase the volume on your computer because your microphone is already there, right?
Yep. Okay, so let me try that instead. Yeah, I think that'll be easier than trying to go into settings.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. See if you can hear this now.
What? No. All my guys are here. Your guys? Yeah, you know how I got a guy for everything? Well, they're all in New York. My suit guy, my shoe guy, my ticket guy, my club guy. And if I don't have a guy for something, I have a guy to get me a guy. And oddly enough, his name is Guy.
I like the.
So I thought that was a great way to sort of start this conversation off. Let me close that before it keeps playing. So the idea is to have, when this character says, I have a guy for everything, I have a shoe guy, I have a suit guy, it basically means that he has a specialist for everything that he needs, right? So he has a specialist who only focuses on shoes or in suits. And, if he needs a new suit, he calls up that guy and he gets a new suit. What we have to do in our businesses is establish that brand, that that space in people's minds, our customers' minds, where if they are looking for a special thing, they automatically think of us. So having said that, let's go into the presentation. Let's see. Okay, can you guys see this slide?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so this is Business Strategy 101. Most of you, I think this will be sort of second nature, but it's always good to review the basics. Who knows what your USP is?
Unique selling.
I know.
Yep, you got it, Ravi. So unique selling point or unique selling proposition. This is essentially what your business has to focus on in order to be successful, right? It's basically the intersection between what your customers want and what you do well. So what is your specialty? What is your special skill set? That's your USP. And from a business perspective, you really have to focus on this to be successful, because everything else, is sort of waters with crocodiles, right? Your competitors are there, your customers don't want it. And then if you focus on anything else, you probably won't be as successful as you could be if you really focused on your USP. So having said that, this concept comes from the thought leadership space. So a lot of individuals sort of focused on this a couple of years ago. And how many of you have sort of heard of this concept, thought leadership? Okay, so I see a couple of hands. Thought leadership, is essentially people establishing their specialty by way of creating blogs, creating videos, creating, podcasts, things like that, and essentially focusing on a very narrow niche to really become a specialist in. And what I believe we need to do going forward is that we, as business owners, essentially need to follow the same strategy to make sure our businesses succeed. So let's see. Okay, so the first thing, as we discussed, is finding your core competence. This essentially, you sort of have to go into a dark cave and come out with something that is very sort of customized to you. For this, you obviously have to know your skills, but I guess maybe dark cave is not the best analogy, because you really have to know what the market wants also. So maybe you have to ask your customers what they're looking for and try to focus on the intersection of those 2 points. Next thing is share your idea with the world, right? If you have something unique, then don't worry about people copying you. Don't worry about people, stealing your ideas or anything like that. Because if that is really your strength, then it doesn't matter who copies them, right? Apple came out with an iPhone, and that was really their strength, right? They played off all of their strengths, working on hardware, software, making sure everything worked together. It doesn't matter who else came out with a cell phone after that. they still capture, 80% of the profits in that space. So that's the idea, right? That when you are focusing on a unique strength that you have, it doesn't matter who the competitors are. It doesn't matter if somebody wants to copy your idea, because you're going to occupy that space in people's minds. So you really have to sort of develop that strategy for your business. Next thing is you need to educate your customers and educate the entire market on your USP, on your, that thought leadership, whatever your focus is. And it doesn't matter how sneaky you are. It doesn't matter, how sort of clever you are with your wording and your message. People recognize a sales pitch when they see one, right? So don't try to sell to anyone. I don't think any of us want to hear a sales pitch, especially in this kind of an environment where we're in recession, where unemployment is 20%. Nobody wants a sales pitch. Instead, educate people on how they can improve their business, how they can improve their life, they can improve their lifestyles, because now everyone's focused on that. Everyone's stuck at home. So you need to have something, you need to educate them on how you can add value to their lives. Don't sell. You don't need to sell. If you can educate them, they'll come to you automatically. I think a perfect example is what Zena is doing right now. Right? She's coming to us and she's really educating us. She's giving us free content, essentially. She could be charging us for it. Instead, she's giving us free content. She's teaching us how important it is to sit correctly, to stretch our bodies correctly, to focus on our postures. And now if anybody thinks of, if you go into your HR department and your HR department asks, what do you need for, wellness initiatives? What do you want to have? Guess what? The first thing that's going to pop into our minds is Zena, right? So she doesn't need to sell now. She's educating us, and that is creating a space in our minds for her. So we all need to take that lesson and sort of start implementing that in our businesses.
Dhaval, I have a comment there.
Yeah, absolutely.
They say people don't want to be sold, they want to buy.
Exactly. You're absolutely right. Once you educate them, they will come to you because they want to buy something. They're looking for a solution. So absolutely, Balaji, great point. Next bullet point, use audio, video, written word. So how do you communicate with your customers? And this is where I was putting the studio together for, the video content. And by the way, they're in this order for a special reason. If you create video content, if you're creating YouTube videos or vlogs, essentially what you can do is take that content and just take the audio out of it, and now you have audio content. And then you can also transcribe it and create it into blog posts or news articles. So the idea is, create content, but create something that is really, profitable for you. So instead of if I focused on, going the other way, if I wrote a business article first, then I tried to create an audio recording, it would be additional work. And then if I wanted to do a video recording, I would have to essentially, get a videographer and work on that as a separate project. But if you go this way, video, audio, and written word, I think you only really need to do work once and you have content for all three pieces. So that's the idea. And share that message in any way you can, right? So YouTube, podcasting is really big now. I know Balaji listens to a whole bunch of podcasts because of COVID-19. But I think these kinds of new channels are going to be especially important as we transition out of COVID-19. I think social media is another big thing. And in social media, if there is a video, people will actually stop and hit play. If you have 3 paragraphs of text, they'll scroll right past it because they're not focused on reading on social media. So I think that's something that we need to keep in mind. How can we best communicate this to our customers and to the market? And then the last point is be consistent. And we all have businesses. We all want to focus on our things. And it's really hard to be consistent without a team. So if you have a team, the idea behind this studio that I was putting together is that if you're creating let's say a video, you walk in and you literally spend half hour to an hour, create a piece of content, and then you leave. You go back to your business and you focus on that. And there's a whole team that can take over from there, do the post production, do all of the other things that you need to really make sure that your message gets out, and that you're able to work more efficiently. And I know, Zena, you probably have some experience with this because you created a video course, right? So do you want to touch on that?
Yeah, sure. My videos in my desk program, I have about, I'm going to guess, between desk exercises and then other exercises that I have in the software, I've uploaded probably 150 to 200 videos. So then I keep those videos saved elsewhere and I repropagate them on YouTube, on Instagram, on LinkedIn. So if I have a week where I just don't have time to create new content, I can just go to my old and find a video that I haven't ever posted, and then just create new copy for it, and then just post it across all the different channels. So yeah, that's kind of what I do. And then when I shoot stuff, I shoot it in chunks, which makes a difference. I'll shoot 10 in a row.
Yep.
I'll wear the same thing, or if I want them to look like it's different days, I'll bring a different top and change, whatever.
Yep, exactly. And that's a great point, that we can batch these contents together. So when we are focused on it, I know people who go into the studio once and they'll create a month worth of content in one shot. And then, they have staff that literally puts out something new every day, but they can continuously do that. So, the owner of the business can really just spend one day focused on creating new content once a month, and then have content that goes out every day automatically. So that's a great way to do it also. But the idea is that the content goes out every day or every week, or every other week, whatever your frequency is. But the idea is to be consistent, to let people know that this is going to come out once a week or every other week, whatever the right timing is for you. And if you do all of these things correctly, the idea is that you create that space in your market's mind, right? In your customer's mind, that now you really have, you establish yourself as a leader or as a thought leader with that specialty. So now, when going back to that first clip, Barney's talking about, the suit guy, the shoe guy. If Barney's thinking about, posture guy, guess what? He's going to think of Zena, right? If someone's thinking about investments and how do I make money in the stock market, they're automatically going to think about Balaji, because they've created that space in people's minds. So that's the idea. That's the nutshell. But I think we could probably, let me stop this screen share. Now I see everybody. Okay. So the idea is for us to sort of build on this and sort of brainstorm new ways where we can sort of, come up with new ways of building this thought leadership into our businesses. So Ravi, I think I'll open it up to you. I know Mo is also here, so Mo probably has a ton of ideas on this also, because this, my idea was sort of inspired by the by the marketing presentation Mo did a couple of weeks ago. So I'd love Mo's opinion on this also. But yeah, let's open this up for discussion.
Paul, you want to jump in first with that big ass microphone of yours? That's getting to be a weapon, man.
He's like a radio DJ.
Can you guys hear me? What's going on? Thank you, Deval. I've always said Deval, what I appreciate about him, and I've had a chance to actually work with Deval on a limited basis on a few different projects, is he has a very methodical mind, and he can really, observe the details of a business, and no stone is unturned. And that's a quality I think that we can pick up from the presentation. And I think that's a quality that's important to have in business, is to have an attention for detail and have a nuanced approach. So even with this presentation, it was nuanced, and there's a lot of details and subtle things in it that I think are important. But that's what I got out of that, Deval, was an appreciation for having a nuanced approach, which is opposite of my personality in many respects. I like to go full force ahead with something 100%. And if I'm going to have battle scars, I'll have battle scars, right? And it works for me. But again, everyone has a different personality. Everyone has a different skill set. Everyone has a different thing that works for them. So I like that, though, Deval, how you're very detail orientated. So I got that from your presentation.
Thank you, Mo. And I think the skill set that you're describing, I think, is extremely important also, because it's good, especially in the beginning, especially when we're talking about strategy. You want to have that nuanced approach, and you want to make sure that the direction you're going in is very clear, and you're very focused on the end result. And then once you have that, then we need to be sort of firing on all cylinders, just go straight in. So I think the skill set that you have, I think, is also very important. The skill set you highlighted, saying that you go after it. You want to just fire on all cylinders and go after the result. The idea of this, realizing, sort of brainstorming and coming up with your USP and coming up with what space you can occupy in your customer's mind, is we should be a little more nuanced. I think that was the idea. And I know, Balaji, I think you probably have an interesting sort of take on this also, because you're limited because of your industry, right? You can only say or not say certain things. You can't advertise in public forums. So I'd love to sort of pick your mind on what you think about this.
Okay. Doesn't matter what industry you are. I think, I don't know whether how many of you have seen, there is a guy called Simon Sinek. Have you heard of him?
Yep.
Simon Sinek, you should watch that video. It is 17 minutes video. In fact, I can briefly show. First of all, you need to know what is your why. In fact, he gives an example of why a cell phone is a cell phone. Everybody has got a cell phone. Why Apple is successful. They're not selling cell phone. They're selling something why you are buying an Apple phone. So you need to come out with what is your why. Even in my industry, suppose what is my why? If my why is enrich the life of my clients, then they will come to me. It's not that they come to me because of investment, because of insurance, because of all those things are side gigs. First of all, I need to define what is my why. If my why is to take care of my clients' financial life or their life in per se, then they will come to me. They don't care what investments I do, whether market is up, market is down. That's not the issue. So yeah, I think all of you should watch that Simon Sinek video. If you want, I can post a link in the chat later.
Post the link. That will be fantastic.
It is around 18 minutes. He has given very good example why Dell is not successful. Dell also came with iPod or whatever. Why Apple is successful. So Apple has got that passion. Steve Jobs has got that passion to put something in clients. Same thing. If it is my industry, I need to have that passion. I need to have that why in my field to define what is my why. Why am I doing what I'm doing for my clients? If I have that one very clear, the clients will come to me. I think I already told people don't want to buy. They want to buy. They don't want to be sold. So that's something which we need to focus on.
Yeah. Fantastic. Yeah. So Balaji, what's your why when you're marketing your services? I'm curious.
Okay, that's a good point. That's a good point. In fact, my why is always I wanted to make my clients' life better. It not necessarily financial. In fact, many times I tell my clients, sometimes I'm like a life coach, because I deal with families. If you deal with family with a husband and wife, both of them come with some different angle, because both of them are raised in differently. Sometimes I feel myself I should be a psychiatrist. You know what I mean? So I think I need to play a balanced game. That's why I always would like to meet my clients with both husband and wife, not with one or the other, so that I can provide the right guidance for the family, not an individual.
Hmm.
So my why is to make their life better. That's my why.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And has that changed in the last 2 years, 5 years since COVID started?
No. I have been, actually in my practice also, forget investment and all these things. Even if I don't know, there is somebody else can do it for me. That's not
Right.
the issue. That's technical. My practice is more of a soft skill. So in fact, I read a lot of books how to deal with clients. In fact, I even read a book when I deal with a husband and wife. Many times financial advisors, they always mistake, husbands will make a decision, they talk to the husband, they will ignore the wife many times. So I made it a policy when I go, I sit between husband and wife so that the wife is also in the conversation. Because what happens if the husband sits here, then wife sits there. I'm talking to the husband, she's away, so she's not paying attention, whatever. So I make sure I sit in between them, so I involve them. And many times I tell husband, many times men are a little bit risky. I tell them, hey, your husband is telling like this, what do you think? And finally, I will tell you what. The wife's say will prevail.
Yep.
In fact, having said that, I'm going to do a webinar coming back to marketing. In fact, I just engaged last night a social media person from India. I'm going to work with them. I'm planning to do webinars every 2 weeks. And one of my first webinar, what I'm trying to do, social security for women. Because I wanted to target women age 55 to 65. That's my target audience. I'm going to target women. So if they come to my seminar, then of course they can convince their husbands. That's the secondary. And I also posted recently on Facebook, 51% of the wealth is controlled by women. So they control more wealth. So we need to target. Yeah, that's true. I always talk to women. I don't know. I should take time. I'm quite good in dealing with women. Okay, I should tell you that. So which is a good thing, because if you convince the woman of the family, you have a deal.
Yep.
If she is not in the game, you are out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You are out. So that's the reason I'm focusing all my marketing towards women. I'm telling you. So you need to. I figured out my why because I listen to Simon Sinek. I read a lot of books on these things.
Yep.
That's how I formed my own why, my own strategy. So many times, just now I know Ravi, you asked me how is the market doing. Okay, honestly, between you and me, I don't pay much attention. It does what it does, because another thing, we all need to focus on things that we can control. The things what you cannot control, why do you worry? Market can go drop tomorrow, but if my strategy, my financial plan, or my plan for my client is in good shape, even if market drops, they're in good shape. So it doesn't matter. So what happens there is not in my control. So we need to focus on what we can control. So that's very important. So many times we get carried away by all this news. In fact, I tell all my clients, don't watch CNBC. I just tell them. Because they don't know, or Suzy Orman doesn't know you, whereas I know you personally. I know you. You are calling 949 number, not 1-800 number. So I know you personally. I sit with you on the dining table. I know. In fact, I will tell you, sometimes husband and wife tell against each other to me. Sometimes I say, just because I come so close to that. That's what I'm telling you. I have got a lot of doctor clients. I always tell them, you are MD, I'm also MD. I'm a money doctor. I even tell them, okay, next to the doctor, probably they trust me more than you, because I know their health, their wealth, their family relationship, their family dynamics. I know everything. So they trust me more. I go to their dining table. So that is the kind of relationship which you need to build. When I have that relationship, whether stock market is up, this one, that's all irrelevant. That's all given. That's all given. Of course, I do my due diligence to do the best for them. But if suppose tomorrow market collapses 30%, that's not in my hand. But they trust me. So that is where we need to do that soft skill. If you create what is your why, if you are empathizing with your clients as if you are dealing. I don't do anything which I don't practice. If I'm telling you to do this, I have already done that. So that is the integrity which you need to have with you. Then you can do that. They can see you. Honestly, I will tell you, not that I'm bragging. Many times people tell me, Balaji, we trust you. You come out very transparent. When I tell them, I always think, why are they telling me that? Probably they had a bad experience. I don't know. Maybe that is my second nature. You know what I mean? When you build that, that's what just now I told you. People don't want, they want to buy. They don't want to be sold. If they're not interested in you, that's also fine. But just now, Dhaval, as you mentioned, try to educate people. Let them, in fact, many times I tell them, just come, listen to me. You don't even have to be my client. At least you make an informed decision. Whether you do on your own or you go somewhere else, you are educated enough.
Exactly. So you're educating them, and your sort of North Star, enriching their lives, has never changed. That's what you're focused on. Doesn't matter what happens in the market,
Just
right?
educate. Yeah,
And
just educate.
you'll use different strategies to go after that market.
Just
You can
educate.
use webcast now. You know, you can do webinars and things like that. Before you were doing more one-on-one meetings, sitting down to dinner table with them. So like all of these things, these are different tactics to go after the end goal.
To reach people. Yeah. Whether they deal with you, they don't deal with you, it doesn't matter. Hey, at least, even if they are not my clients, even if they get 2 cents from me, if they do, I'm indirectly helping them. If you have that attitude, that's what it is.
Yeah, and I can tell, you know, just by the way you talk, I think you're very passionate about this. And
I am.
When your customers see that, they sort of have that mental space for you, that, you know, if they have questions about investing, if they have questions about money, the only name that pops into their heads is Balaji, right? They're not thinking about any other person. So that's really the, you know, the power of that.
That's what I want to do. Yeah, that's my passion. I wanted to educate, and then let them make a decision, whatever they feel comfortable.
Exactly.
And again, if you follow our Bhagavad Gita, this one, you do your job, don't worry about results. So I do my job in educating. If they become my client, that's fine. If they don't become client, that's also fine. So then I'm not upset.
Right. Then you leave them with some value, right? You educated them. So
yeah,
if
you do with that attitude, I think all of us will be successful in whatever way. This guy is showing Bhagavad Gita. Okay, dude, you should preach us now.
Fantastic.
Oh man.
Mo, you're gonna read us an excerpt from the book?
I found Balaji's chapter.
Go to chapter 2.
I found Balaji's chapter here.
Mo, go to chapter 2, Karma Yoga. Do your karma without getting results.
Balaji the MD, man. That's going to be the new one from now on. Welcome Balaji MD, money doctor. Awesome. This is fantastic, man. We have about 10 more minutes left.
Neeta, you have a question?
I said I'm also MD, married to doctor.
You know, I wanted, if I could just quickly correct something you said, Balaji. I agree 99% with what you said, but you said the women control 51% of the wealth. I disagree.
No, in fact, I just posted on
they
Facebook.
Control 100% of the wealth.
100%?
100% of the wealth. Because honestly, if women were not on the planet, I don't think we would care what car we drive, what money we spend anything on. I think we'd just be a bunch of savages in the wilderness, you know. Because of women, we earn some money, buy a nice house, dress nice. All the spending power is because of women, I think, you know.
No, in our industry, I'll tell you, in our industry, there is also statistic shows many times most of the advisors, they focus on men. So what happens when there is a death in the family, as his husband passes away, 95% of the time, the woman will find a new advisor because I never had a relationship.
And also 95% of the time, she'll find a new husband too.
That's also true. So as long as you pay attention to your client and deal with them with their empathy, I think that's what it is.
I think so. Absolutely. I fully agree with that. And very nice way of getting this. A good conversation, Balaji. I appreciate it. Next time, man, drink a little bit more of that margarita. I love you talking, man. I'm telling you, you were in a zone there. You followed up. You were absolutely in a zone.
Yeah, well,
that's a favor.
Buzzed Balaji is the best Balaji.
Very good.
Okay, guys.
Good insights, though.
Okay.
I really like that. Find the you. Absolutely. And I think that is, well, sharing a screen. He's sharing a screen with
Okay,
us.
this is the guy.
Yeah. I know he even came out with the episode yesterday, actually, right?
Simon Sinek, Sinek.
It is just 1 minute 38 seconds. Watch it.
Okay, guys. I also want to talk about, because of COVID ideas, I do want to share something.
Balaji, we're not getting any audio.
No audio.
Okay, that's fine. We'll close this. Okay.
Yeah.
Balaji, post that in the thing, man.
Yeah, I will. Okay. Sorry.
Put it on the WhatsApp group.
Balaji, I really like that. I really like the conversation. So I think it is very correct. You have to find your USP, and those are the ways to do it, right? Don't focus on the sale.
Balaji, stop your screen share before you open your email.
Balaji, I didn't know you're that kind of guy, man.
Which kind of guy?
Showing us some stuff on your computer here.
Nice, man.
Just hit escape and say stop share at the bottom. That's okay. Hey, while he's figuring that out,
Anil, you have something.
I did already stopped it.
Oh, okay, good. Okay.
I wanted to talk about some man. Producer, I'm telling you, tell me about it. I have to deal with this. He controls everything. Anil does.
Okay, good.
Producer, man.
It's just that, I haven't been talking also because, I'm trying to make since Anshuman is not here, making sure the recording is going on my computer and also Facebook.
Thank you for that.
And just making sure all the participants are panelists. So I just wanted to, since it's an innovation idea, and during COVID time, I remember mentioning in this connect about second one or the third one, into saying there's so many people, small businesses are hurting right now. And, I was thinking of doing something. So I started something called supportlocals.us. Can you see this? See my screen?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So basically, since the last 2 weeks, I've been working on this. It's for small businesses. Anybody, they can use this like a ordering system, right? They can go and register, business login and all this stuff, and they can post their menu, and Balaji can order something from most restaurant or whatever. We're not charging anything. We're just letting them use it, So because there's so many small businesses don't have money to pay for a service like Uber Eats or whatever, because they take away 50% or whatever that service charge. So we just built that to let them use it. So I'm just like today, I'm just posting it. So I wanted to talk about you guys.
Anil, I really like this idea, and I wish we can take Ravi. Maybe you can figure this out, but I wish we can take maybe a full day, a full hour for this idea and how we can best support our local businesses. And to the extent we can build a business or we can build a community around that, I think that would be really fantastic for this TiE group. Because this is something that I'm very interested in, very passionate about. I know all of you have also expressed interest, so I think this is a fantastic initiative, Anil. Let's see if we can do more.
Absolutely, and I think that's exactly what we will do. We will try to focus one whole event next week on this. I really like this idea. Congratulations, Anil. One of the first things, the transition from an idea to a product, is putting it either on a paper, on a site, and putting it to action. And I think you did that over the past couple of weeks. And this is a very, very good initiative. It's not just a thought, but actually now you can look at it. And I think developing this, there might be a ton of competition, there might be a ton of other products and stuff like that, but where it comes out of is a genuine place in the heart where you want to help local businesses, and therefore creating a database or a directory, if you may, of local businesses, and therefore creating an ecosystem for local transactions. I think we are going into this idea of localization. Subha also spoke about it. I spoke about it sometime back too. I think you're in this environment where you have global technologies that can enable local growth, right? And so if you're helping local businesses and have this ecosystem working out in the background, it will be very good. And look at the people who are on this panel, right? On the show with us, right? We have people who run malls, who run real estate, who are so well accomplished. We have people who run software companies, money doctors, right? Incredible talent, incredible amount of people here who can help move this forward and at least give us insights and their thoughts on it. And similar to, I think, having Sanjay on the group will also be very good, right? Because going is the marketing side of this, right? Marketing this in a marketing concept, right? So congratulations on the launch, first of all. Love to talk more about it. And I know we have been speaking about how to take this forward and some other concepts that could be bolted onto that. So I'll definitely schedule one for next week where we can thrash this a little bit. Or perhaps earlier, we will see. But let us hear other people. I know I have seen this one. So let's go around the room. Ashok, what do you think about this? I know you've been hearing this, and you have a ton of experience in this space of putting small businesses together and in the real estate space, and more importantly, in the financial part of that real estate space.
You know, I enjoyed. I think that's a good idea. We should set up something like this, and all the ideas I heard, very, very good. I support them.
Great.
As we go,
Thank you. Avi, what do you think, man?
No, definitely, it's a great idea. See, market is changing. We're gonna have a more clarity in next 2 months, where once this week or next week, all the shops and retail start opening up, so we can have a better idea, and then we can see how we can help also.
Absolutely. A person, hey Mo or Pankaj, did you have any thoughts on this before I go to Vivek Kashyap?
I have to go look a little more in detail about it, and really see the dynamics of it. But something that comes to my mind is actually last week I spoke to somebody and I discovered that something that is really growing are these platforms that allow bartering to happen, and that's kind of really booming. And I think that especially with the volatility of the economy, more and more people are going to be interested in things like that. To incorporate somehow the ability for individuals or companies to barter with one another, I think would be very enticing. And I think going back to what Deval was talking about earlier, it would add a value proposition to it, as opposed to it simply being a directory. The world doesn't need another directory. Having a directory is not exciting in the marketplace. The last time a directory was exciting was in 1997 when Yahoo launched a directory, and it was exciting, right? So today we need to actually have something that is exciting and impactful in the marketplace. I think a barter directory or some sort of ability to locally barter with people, that to me would be much more interesting if somehow that could be incorporated.
Number one step of ideation, good input, Mo. But number one step of ideation, we are on top of the funnel, not at the bottom of the funnel yet. I think it's a good idea. I think we should build on it, and building a barter system in that, whatever we call it, a directory or whatever it is, incorporating that, I think, in that local marketplace is a very, very good opportunity for improvement.
Quite frankly, I think, sorry, Ravi, go ahead, finish your thought.
No. I think that's very good input, by the way. It is the idea of bartering also in that support locals, whether it is in the form of a barter or what we are talking about, cards or whatever it is.
Right.
And Mo brings up a very, very good point.
Yeah, I think the way I see this is the directory is sort of the foundation piece, or like you said, it's the top of the funnel, right? That's how you can capture everyone. And to the extent what you do in the following layers, you can create a business out of that. So to the extent you want to set up a barter system where businesses can communicate with other businesses, for that, still step one is a directory, have all the businesses listed, and then you can start that conversation. To the extent you want to go out to the consumer and have them interact with the business, step one is the directory, right? So I think Anil is creating that foundation piece, and then we can all create or come up with ideas that sort of flow from that.
I agree with both of you. I think the point is, it can't just be a directory. There has to be. Now, I'm not a fan. I'm not like a evangelist for bartering, right? But I know it's something growing. But maybe it's something different. Maybe something to give it an edge, something to make it stand out. To going back to Deval's presentation, what is it that makes this different, makes this unique?
What is your USP?
Yeah,
absolutely. That was Deval's presentation, and I think Anil's strength in trying to communicate that, or I think there is a good intent. Our idea of bringing this up, and that's exactly, we could have a session where we could build on it, tear it down, build on it, rebuild it, so that that is how ideas come to life, right? And also, very important, who else is there, right? I mean, support locals is not the first thing, right? There's a Wall Street Journal, go look up December 19th, Wall Street Journal, I found 6 companies that are doing local businesses, right? So how do you compare that, and how do you do that with speed also, right? And that's what a group like this, which we have built a nice ecosystem around, with experience can do. Absolutely.
And
one last this thing. I sold when I was moving out of my old house last year, I wanted to get rid of some furniture and stuff like that. I had it on another platform for a long time, a very, very well-known platform for a long time. I had it on eBay. And then one of the real estate agents said, try OfferUp, right? And OfferUp is a very localized, very hyper-local. They can't, it's like, the people there. It's by zip code, it's by neighborhood. And OfferUp worked out. Within 2 days, all my stuff was sold for very good this thing. So building on Mo's idea, local bartering, local interactions are important. Sorry, Mo, you were saying something, and then we are nearly close to our.
No. If I get going, we're gonna keep this going for an hour. I was just saying. So with a business like that, we can also look at ways that are unseen to the eye to generate revenue. For example, if we're focusing on local businesses or a local business directory, what many people may not know, I'll give you an example, Ravi, is maybe we're actually a local SEO company. And maybe that's actually how we keep our lights on. And we allow local businesses to sign up. And now more than ever, businesses need their SEO services to be localized, and there's going to be hyper localization. So and that's not a groundbreaking idea, but it's a common sense approach to, hey, maybe there's something hidden here that we're not even thinking about, because maybe we're a web directory, but really our payroll is paid for because of the local SEO services. So different ways on the back end, I think, with something like that.
Brilliant. Absolutely. Very, very good thoughts. I love the way we are going about this, Mo. I think this is the value of a conversation like this. So let us schedule that very soon. We will work on it, and we'll work with the producers. And since one of the producers is biased towards this, I think we will get very soon, right? And it'll be paid for also. So perhaps all of us can get mojitos that Balaji was having and share it with the group while we critique the idea, right? So, which is awesome. Vivek and Avi, I know we did not say hi. Just say hello very quickly. We have a couple of minutes. How are things going? And Vivek, nice to see you from Naples there.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Ravi, and hello, everyone. And great conversation. Thank you, Balaji, and everybody for sharing. So I learned a lot in that way. And the thing which I'm taking is to really come back to this answer which we have to give around our USP, the why I'm doing this, what stands me differently, and just like I'm here to really make my clients' life better, but in what way, So one is, what is my market segment and why I'm doing what I'm doing, because that drives the passion also. So thank you for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Segmentation is very, very important. Who are you trying to meet also? It's important. Avi, everything going well?
Yeah, everything is going very good. Thank you. Busy,
See, I
busy
like your
day.
boardroom in the background. I like your boardroom in the background.
Hey, Avi, you have a nice haircut.
Oh, thank you very much. Now it was like now 10 days ago. Now you're gonna see the new one again in next 1 or 2 weeks.
Balaji
no,
just noticed,
yeah,
huh?
I
day
did
is going.
notice.
Yeah, I also give the emphasis on everyone has to categorize their segment, and segment has to keep changing according to situation. Also, like commercial real estate is a little bit in slow mode, so now we are doing more residential deals also, because people are waiting and watch. They're looking at how the business is gonna grow, and when the market is open. And lender is also commercial lender are also slow nowadays to give the financing, so they're also waiting for right time. So once everything's stabilized, then they're gonna be open to give the funding again, lending. And like Ashok said, lot of tenants are not making a payment, or they're trying to make an arrangement with the landlord to pay 20%, 30%, 50%, depending on how much cash flow they have. So things are going to settle down in next couple of months. Then we will see more activity, but housing is still going good.
Good reports actually from, yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you very much. We are 3 minutes over. Thank you very much for joining. We have a very good show tomorrow, so please make sure to register on Thursday. We have Natalie coming in. She's joining us from New York, and she's a fantastic speaker, and she's going to cover a very interesting topic too. So we are hoping you can join. Agenda coming up. So let me, yeah, please join us there. I just want to make sure I have that agenda topic. So give me half a second before you guys hang up. The agenda topic for Natalie's conversation on Thursday is very interesting: how to revolutionize your performance. Natalie Forrest. So that's
Nice.
and which is going to be very good. So have a wonderful evening. Enjoy your dinner. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Dhaval. Very nice presentation. Thank you, Balaji. Great insights, Dr. MD. Really appreciate it, man. Thanks,
And
man.
thank you, Ravi. And thank you, Ravi.
Thank you for hosting, Ravi. Yeah,
Yeah.
great job.
No,
Thank you
I have a
for
question.
everyone.
How come people don't appreciate Ravi as much as he should be appreciated?
Oh,
It
I
upsets
think
me.
we appreciate him every day.
We should appreciate from the beginning,
Ravi,
in the middle,
honestly,
and the end.
Coming up, the fact that you guys are joining is appreciation for me.
Ravi, you're the only reason why we keep coming back every day. So.
Yeah, yesterday, Ravi, your cam was off, so I left. I come here to see you. So I came here for 2 minutes. I saw your camera's not working. I said, I'm sorry. I love you guys, but I have to go. Ravi, if I can't see Ravi, why am I going to come here?
Okie dokie, guys. There you go.
Ravi, Avi, almost same, right?
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Okay, guys.
Go
Take
ahead.
care.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye.